Hello once more and welcome back to my channel. Knowing closeness is more than merely physical contact. It involves tapping into the more profound emotional and psychological characteristics of your spouse. In this video, why lexemon for important. Locations that women frequently desire for their partners to touch, demonstrating how these motions can improve comprehension connection. We will also explore the psychology of these preferences, based on female psychology, Stoicism, and Jadalines. To assist you in creating a more deep connection in your relationships, the importance of maintaining eye contact. Click the subscribe button if you're interested. Prepared to step up your handling connections and unleash the potential of being Stoic. In your life means that you're in the appropriate location. Each video provides you with one more step toward mental mastery and making deeper, more significant connections. Let's get going, okay? This is the harsh reality of closeness is more than simply the physical aspect of it, further into the power of touch and attraction, the domain of trust, than that a relationship and comprehension. You might believe that talk is everything. However, most men overlook this secret weapon thevlu of making eye contact. Yes, I am discussing the type of eye contact. It breaks down and cuts through the noise walls and fosters a closer bond marathon. You ever thought you've most likely felt it? Prior to those instances where look her in the eyes and the entire world disappears. It's not about looking at her clumsily like some creep. This isn't the same. This is about those little silences when words are unnecessary and your eyes are performing. It's that unstated amid all the speech connection that speaks louder than words. When your eyes meet hers, you could see. It resembles a surge in an electric current. That's the power of the E between you. To contact has the ability to be powerful due to its honest and raw, and it can help you nearer than you ever imagined. However, the worst part is that eye contact isn't only a butterissing desire, it's also a bootstablishing trust. When you investigate her eyes and she notices that you're completely present, at which point the genuine relationshipers, she'll realize you're not Marilyn only physically but also emotionally. It's also about psychological trends to her that she cares that you're not preoccupied or you're with her, but you're immersed in your own thoughts in that instant, which is real import. And don't just believe me when I say that science supports the release triggered by this up contact of oxytocin. The damage that cause fostering love and trust, so that each one you meet her gaze, you're literally fortify your relationship. It goes beyond simply touching the appropriate places. The goal is to evoke an emotional, rooted connection. This is when the Stoic way of thinking is used to play. The Stoics were more than first place subtle but powerful, just regulating their surroundings. Realize that true power comes from controlling how you react to the outside world, and in closeness that entails being totally available when you gaze at her with goal. When you're not preoccupied with your not considering future afterward, when you're alone with her, at that point you assume commandively, at that point you'd menstruate to her, that you're not merely a man seeking a fast fix, but someone who appreciates the stronger bond. So the next time, you don't be afraid to make eye contact with her. Kiefer, look intently and firmly. Give her some impression that you're there. When you do, let her know that you appreciate her. You're not merely generating disarray or building a relationship of trust, relationship that transcends the surface heat, which point things truly begin. Told her eye contact is more than just a technique. That power in the less visible areas. It's revolutionary because on SEO begin. Once you've mastered it, you'll see the difference. I assure you, this is a talent that transcends closeness and will transform how you relate to others, how you cultivate connections, and our appearance in the globe. And after you discover how to utilize that power, and you'll be unstoppable. Okay, let's discuss the power is something that most men overlook off contacting the less visible areas. You believe it's all about the typical locations, the locations they vary on. It's discussed are losing out on an entirely new degree of connection. Allow them to give you a hefty Below the truth is that a woman's body has spots that triggers when properly touched. Response that are far more intense than you may believe that these secret locations airware. Once you figure this out, the maggot happens out, you'll be able to establisho. Stronger matter miss just as much. If you wish to create that intense a connection, you must select your words with caring, no nonsense, no flattery, just because genuine flattering. Remarks coming from a location off genuineness. Tell her how beautiful she is. Certain, but make it personal what you adore about her and what motivates you. You're crazy, but it's notably about gratitude is always important. Anticipation is fourth place, ultimate touch point. Crucial observed hoe. The hinting or tantalizing of what comes next might cause her to cling to every word is an effective strategy fit. You're painting a picture, not just talking image in her head. Gradually constrain that stress that she is waiting for, discover what comes next, and it begins. Let's discuss pace slowly, now that we have you occasionally talk. Though you're revealing a secret o' her alone, it strikes that gentle personal tone distinct. But don't be scared to change it up to become little Steffer every shift and be bolder but keep it warm. You may keep her by using your voice. Completely absorb it, sharpening her senses in ways that words scan it adequately desky. It's the subtle reasons why that is important. Combine that gently touching her, perhaps stroking her neck or it. Your hand on her back. This is the cold truth with passions, something you must comprehend. Soft strokes that have a greater impact than the great gestures can be disarmed with words pleasant, but those peaceful private the whispers that give her feelings. Actually sincerely hoped she would recall those. She remembers certainments much longer than this. Isn't about playing anything else. This game is about being authentic and deliberate. Anthus is where the Stoics and Stoic philosophy believed in having control over your ideas, your behavior, and the influence that you have on other people. It's not simply about regulatinger speech regarding presenting it with intention. Your words have the power to create chaos or tranquility. Relationshipper separation. You own the ability to produce something to noble, but it demands master of being totally present. Your feelings and use a thought authority to establish a sincere report, so that the following time donorly solely on her since you're close to her. Physical contact communicates with a purpose, using your voice to convey massage and establish the tone to arouse a desire. Since in the end, ultimately, it doesn't matter how much you claim facets about your words and your mannerisms. Show her how you feel, and that's nobody can ignore power or how to read her reactions right quickly. I feel a question for you before we resume. Which method do you prefer for creating a deep relationship with a woman? I would adore for you to leave a remark below. Provide your ideas, or if you're unsure about what to, simply type, and this link will be established in the briefment. Paying attention to your viewpoint makes these discussions thatery far more significant, and it makes this video even more accessibly. Who could find it useful? Therefore please take a moment to leave a comment. I'm eager to read your next words. Let's continue, since the finest part is still in front of number 4, sweetie. Touches that are more expressive than words. Speaking about your hands, there not only to be touched, they are rather to forget about force or haste when communicating. The strength is in thigh tension and accuracy. Imagine that quality is more important than thigh quantity. Each touch is like a brush stroke on her body, and the canvas a wreathy masterpiece. Gradual trace of a gentle graze along her back, down her stomach, or a gentle pat on her thigh scan establish a stronger bond beyond merely physical. The key is to explore with touch diversity, glide off temperature and pressure, speed running your fingers over her flesh or applying pressure. Her back's tiny. These small actions reveal a lot about her. A gentle pat on the neck is your golden zone. A stroke around her neck or behind it, waves of sensation from the collarbone. She won't anticipate the major shock and dynamisy you're demonstrating to her. Distinct. It goes beyond what you accomplish, how you do it. A slow methodical stroke, when paired with the appropriate pressure, produces the Tamingoff. A remarkable experience is everything. Let's now introduce this Stoic instructed Behave purposefully and but totally, not responding rashly in themament. Your touch need to convey Stoic approach to physical touche-attitude. Purposeful don't and deliberate to cantrell brush. There's so go slowly on let your hand will talk once you're completely. The gentle touch will have a greater significance as opposed to thy sue. Will you do anything grandiceptive? It's number 5 and the real power, okay, behind pleasure. If you're the kind of man who is still here you are, not here to settle for mediocrity. Since you're not content with the surface level of enjoyment beyond then next, you're seeking depth and insight. Not cheap thrills and genuine bonding, which is what isolates the mind's actual power. In intimacy between men and boys, so let's examine the THL. Like, look at this. Let's send me with this. Let's send me L. Look at this. And we all know I've been exploring that. My CHL is case. So it's case lades and B with KT thrills. And we send my tways. LLOC. At PayTHL, we send my THL. I case late kasipti me that ATHL, ki AT we day we a way ek AT way we a at F. Kai can we see to can go to you to see with you to you can we can reach a guy can go to you to get him with you to I can you finish you cat with I it would on that I just cat we True strength bend. Most men believe that pleasurize everything regarding the body, the hands, the contact moves. But allow me to provide a bit of information. Ruthless intellect weighs the most powerful thing in your mind, Sorgan, that interprets each and every touch, every word to become an expert off skill. But if you're not participating, you're missing the point desire. In her view, it all starts with pleasure and fulfillment in the mind your brain makest's final decision. What thrills her, what feels good, what makes her want to stop more. If you want to concentratedly on her physique, elevate this. You'll get in touch with first in her mind. And here's the catch, is the starting point for serious power compliments conversation. Yes, I did say it well, your hidden weapon is talk prior to anything physical happening. Take the time to learn about her preferences, what turns her on, and what makes her tick. Inquire about her dreams and establish a secure environment where she can express hers. The more at ease you make her fail with you in mind, it's simpler to physically unlock her. You're not merely seeking sex that you want to produce, an encounter that energizes every aspect of and their mental health issues. Continue games have the power to modifies game as she messages that arrow suggestive before you lay a hand on her final thoughts. An outro gives a wake clues about what's going to await a Darvel. It's among the most strong Paul thought makes you crave her to feel 10-seemed yearn. For the previous moment it even starts, let me share some knowledge stated who looks outside of dreams deepest pleasure is evoked. Inside Ditos not originate from flashy moves that psychological and emote relationship. Use tapelish here is where genuine knowing her on a personal level gives you power to poor level. Now remember that pleasure is not only mental, it is also physical reacts to visual stimuli. Other than touch and sound effects softly set the scene lighting that fits the mood, this particulars. Aren't mere details they interact everything feels more alivicus of her senses, closer and more genuine? And this is where when Stoicism is applied, this Stoics didaches teach self-control over your abilities and incapable of controlling what. They taught about presence and comprehension when you're there with your spouse on an emotional level. And you have mental power over the experience, which makes it strong and satisfying on all levels. So keep that in mind when you establish a mental connection. With her, recognize her desires before making contact. You're not merely making the occasion better. When you get proficient, you're changing it. It's the art of mental and physical relationships. You're not merely having your care, resulting in an amazing experience. Therefore, this is your incentive. Allow me to drop something, Asa. Little reminder vital here, brother. Undervalue the mental power in relation to enjoyment. The reality is the mental and emotional bond that deepens the understanding the true significance. Oh, if anything else, for sure, it's nice to know all the right moves, but it all depends on how you make her feel. It's a real thing, so the game on its head. Aphrodisiac, let's bring everything Tiger. Now, intimacy between two people's more than just what you're. In conclusion, being aware of the important areas where she desires to feel touched. Intimacy is more than simply physical attraction. Secret locations are whereon you figure this out. The Maggie Chapin's out. You'll be able to establish a stronger bond. It surpasses even the most basic. I'm being gently touched ath little of a faint graze. Down the nape of her back of her throat or a light pressure on the within her wrist, which is unexpected, but these locations are quite delicate. And when you touch them, purposefully rather than haphazardly, you're messaging her in a manner similar to talking with your hands. Isn't about only following the procedures. It's about giving each action purpose, like a quiet dialogue her body recognizes. Now consider areas such as rear her neck, shoulders, or knees, or even her earlobes may appear tiny or unimportant, but believe me when I say it, they possess enormous potential. The second place, the emotional trigger. Key is in how you touch them, occasionally with a gentle touch works far better than going Allen with a solid plaything. Softness and pressure, and observe how your body reacts in unexpected ways. However, this is where them realist and doubt finding hidden spots is more athen. Just making showing her physical pellier. Is the goal that you are there and that you are concerned enough to examine what truly brings her joy? These locations have a direct connection. No. Her mechanism of pleasure, and when you obtain it, yes, you'll ignite something much more the exterior and ends. You finish her body will be grateful. No words are needed. It's not about playing games. Let's face it, this is about making a deeper connection level. It involves looking past appearances level encounters that the majority of men are involved in, and genuinely conversing with her in some manner that fosters closeness, and have faith when you investigate these surprising spots. So it's not merely stroking her body, you're making her feel something and thoughts. What distinguishes those who are from individuals who leave a lasting impression? And here's another strong hairstyle tip for her. May seem easy, but managing. You're playing with her hair with her fingers, or simply giving it a light pat can feel extra pat, such as this extends beyond the physical realm, conveys concern, affection, connection. Q, which escaming, consoling, and demonstrates toar your attention and presence into her. Therefore, let's go on to the next point. Just leave when you're near her. Slow down and take your time. At the typical locations, time and investigatees less evident areas, observe how urbity is responds. And when you experience mastery, the skill of speaking and threat of delivery, lean into the response. It's about hurrying or kicking boxes, ensuring that every touch matures. Belmy, when you begin to take note of these subtle areas, you'll establish a degree of intimacy that she will never forget. So let's bring in some of the Stoics. Knowledge possess the ability to present in concentrating on the present and exercising control, which you can. In third place, the secret spot. Most men ignore the closeness space that entails being totally present rather than hurrying through the physical examination to reach the ultimate objective. Is to comprehend the effect of each touch at every instant, as well as your reaction to it. When you do well, see that the most profound forces not used to create connections. They're created by being patient and presenting comprehension, so that the next time I'll keep in mind that it's not simply about the obvious locations. Focus on the small topics that nobody discusses, and the ability to be totally present with, since doing so will result in the development of a relationship that's more than just physical, real, passionate, and unforgettable. Okay, so let's be honest for a moment and discover how to master art of number 3 of your words. And more crucially, how, as you mentioned, most men don't notice this, but believe me, it's a game. Share the key is actual contact. Thus, it's crucial, but what really matters is your voice weapon, thirfers of spoken words you might ignite a spark with intention that you didn't even knew it was feasible to consider this most men didn't even think about. The ear, however, I must say that it's absurdly the-appropriate. Words were whispered at the delicate, the appropriate tone at the proper moment can have a significant impact on many males engrossed in thievance and depending on appearance or what should function, but let I can assure you that intent and tone are what truly make you stand out. Words aren't only. Words are instruments, and when utilized, they are deadly whispers. So use them carefully while you're near her, anything in her ear.